to Freshly Served Healthy Vegan Recipes. I'm Heather, and today we're going to make a kale salad. Now, before you get scared thinking about raw kale, don't worry, we're going to make it taste delicious. I have a few tricks and I'm going to show you those. You can find the recipe over at healthyveganrecipes.net, and if you're really interested in learning about more on how to make vegetables delicious, I've set up a series of some free lessons at healthyeatingstartshere.com. So, what we're going to start with is a dressing, because a good salad dressing can make any salad taste good, and a few ingredients are going to be crucial to that. So when I'm working with kale or some other bitter vegetables, I usually like to do a salty or a really flavorful dressing. So sometimes I'll do an Asian style dressing with tamari soy sauce and sesame oil. Today I'm going to show you a balsamic and lime based dressing, and I'm going to throw in some extra sweetness from some maple syrup and some Dijon mustard to make it really, really flavorful. So what I'm going to start with is the lime. Now normally I would zest the lime, but this one's looking a little bit old and stiff, so I'm just going to take the juice today. So just cut it in half, and limes don't tend to have seeds for some reason, which makes me wonder about their stability as a species, but anyway. Just cut into it a little bit so that you break the sections and then you can squeeze all of the juice out. Or if you have a juicer, you can just squeeze it onto the juicer. Try to get all that juice out, it's good stuff. Now a good tip for people who don't have a lot of time is to make your dressing in a jar and make more of it than you need for that day, and then you have it on hand for future days. This also helps the flavors of the dressing develop, so it gets yummier and yummier as the days pass. Alright, so there's all of my dressing and some pulp from the lime. Then what I'm going to add in here is some balsamic vinegar, and I happen to have this beautiful fig balsamic that my mom got me. I'm going to use a little bit of that. And because it's really precious, that's all I'm going to do. I'll add a little bit more regular balsamic. And some olive oil. And I usually try to go for a 1-to-1 ratio here, so I usually just look at the jar, see where the levels are, and kind of eyeball it. Okay, then for our fun stuff, I'm going to put some Dijon mustard in here, and that has a pretty powerful taste, so you don't need very much. And then some maple syrup. The classic dressing, of course, is honey Dijon, but for vegans, we like maple syrup better. It also is so delicious. I put a little bit much in there, you probably don't need that much. I might add a little bit more oil and vinegar to balance it out. And then some salt is crucial for bringing the oil and vinegar together to emulsify, as they say. Put the cap on the jar, and you can just shake it instead of whisking. It's more fun too. Okay, so that is going to sit while we prepare the vegetables for the salad. So I started with the kale, thinking I wanted to show you guys how to massage it. And like I said, this turns out very, very nicely. I've served this to my dad and to other intense kale haters, and even myself. I used to hate kale pretty passionately, and it tastes good, so don't worry. So we're going to start with the kale, and then I also wrote about broccoli this week and how broccoli has some pretty intense bitterness if you don't work with it properly. So broccoli is another one that most people hate, so we're going to throw that in the salad as well. And going with the green theme, I have a beautiful avocado and some green pepper. Now, the avocado brings some softness and a different texture to the salad, but white beans would work excellently as well. So feel free to swap around all of the ingredients in this salad. Start with the kale and the dressing, and then put in whatever you like I was gonna do white beans, but avocados were on crazy sale. So what I'm gonna start with is the kale, and what you wanna do is, first of all, wash it. It's got all of these little curly bits in it that dirt and things can hide in. So take your kale, and this spine is really stiff. So what I do is take the kale off of the spine up to where it gets fairly soft, like about here. Okay, so do that with all of your kale. You can either cut it or just break it like that. Sometimes you can even rip off part of the spine and leave the rest of it. That's the ideal. So get your kale chopped up into little bits and then throw it in a salad bowl. And here is where the magic happens. This is a technique that I learned when Phil and I did raw food for a little while, and it is so amazing. Just a little bit of salt, and then get your hands right in there and massage it. And you'll see the kale will start to wilt. It'll get really bright green. It'll start to look wet, and I'm just starting to be able to smell the amazing freshness coming up from the bowl. If you want to learn more about the nutritional benefits of kale and why you should be learning to like it, you can head over to my nutrition blog, healthyeatingstartshere.com. I wrote there about my experience with kale and how I hated it at first, and then when I learned all of the amazing benefits, I had to figure out a way to learn to love it, and this was it. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see how much it's shrunk, the change in color, or the wetness on the video, but you get to a point where the kale is much softer than that rough curliness that it was before. Then we're going to move on to the other vegetables, and you can do the same technique with the broccoli and the green pepper, where you just put a little bit of salt to soften it, and it'll really help make it more delicious. So get your broccoli cut up, and then you can do the same thing, just a little bit of salt, and just kind of rub it lightly, like so, and it'll just soften the flavor up a little bit on the broccoli. And I should say, we're not making things more delicious, I guess I'm probably not allowed to say that, but we're making things more edible so that we can make them delicious. Okay, and then one thing I love to do with broccoli is to cut up the stem. So you just take off all of the hard outer bits, just slice them off, and then cut up the stem like so. My mom used to do this for me when I was little, and this was the only part of the broccoli I would eat. It's a shame for me. But anyway, at least she got me eating broccoli, right? Okay, and green pepper is one that I'm okay with. Green pepper, I don't love it. It's got a very sharp flavor, so again, just a little bit of salt. Rub it through with your hands, and if you let it sit for just a few minutes, that flavor will soften right up. It'll be great. Avocado is my final pièce de résistance. This one is very, very ripe, hence why it was so cheap, so we'll see how it's doing. Okay, so it's a little bit brown inside. Not to worry, take the pit out. And then you can either take a spoon and kind of scoop it out from the skin, or you can cut it like so and peel the skin off like that. And then all I'm going to do is just cut off these little bits that are kind of brown. So we'll get the avocado in here, and like I said, you can substitute avocado for some beans if you wish. They have the same nice soft texture, not quite the same flavor, but if you're stuck. Okay, and then we're going to take our dressing and give it one last little shake. The lime flavor in this dressing is going to go beautifully with the avocado. Pour a little bit on here, and then you get to save the rest for other days. You can just whip up a salad super quick. toss, and you're ready to go. I've gone with a nice fully green color here, but like I said, do whatever vegetables you think works for you. So, hope you enjoy your kale salad. I'm Heather. This is Freshly Served. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net.